Ask D Wade if 08 was easy. Ask CP if 12 was easy. Ask Book if 21 was. It's not easy at this level to win gold.
While everyone is debating who the current world champions are, Germany or the Denver Nuggets, the real conversation we should be having is this one. Why is nobody scared of Team USA anymore? If NBA is the best league, and I agree with this, and the US had the most players from it in this World Cup, then how come they're going home without a medal for a second time in a row in this tournament? And please don't start typing, let's wait for the Olympics when LeBron, Steph, and KD might show up. It's not only that, NBA players only Team USA have lost 6 times in the last 5 years, while before they went undefeated from 2008 to 2019. Even if they do win in Paris next year, the trend is becoming more and more obvious. The world is catching up to USA in international competitions. And the FIBA World Cup has given us a great explanation of what's actually going on.
Schroeder steps back. Count it! The Germans have taken a 6-point lead!
First of all, there's one big difference to understand here. NBA and FIBA basketball are two completely different things. And it's not only the rules or court size variations I'm talking about. It's the consequences that are created by these differences in how the actual basketball is played on each side of the ocean. To be honest, I feel like this gap is getting bigger and bigger each year. Semifinal between the United States and Germany was another proof of why things that work in the NBA are not always successful on FIBA courts. Germany used Lithuania's example and punished USA where everyone was expecting they would have problems before the tourney, defending off the ball, getting offensive rebounds, and punishing their switch-all system. FIBA basketball emphasis on different values proved to be mission impossible for the Americans to solve in a month and a half.
Count it! And the men from the Baltics are flying early!
So without a doubt, NBA is the fastest league in the world. And that's where we spot the first difference. Defensive rebounding habits are long gone. Nobody recognizes the need of boxing out, since in the NBA, everybody is concerned with transition defense. But in FIBA and versus Germany, we immediately see a consequence of it. Voigtmann can run inside the paint without Edwards even thinking about boxing him out. It's not the first time in the tourney they get burned by it too. However, they didn't manage to learn the lesson quick enough as Germany get on the scoreboard here. In the next clip, Franz Wagner attacks his Magic teammate Banchero early and watch nobody put a body on Tiemann. Americans get caught ball watching and Tiemann gets it too. Identical situation a bit later. Wagner pulls up on the break, Voigtmann is crashing inside, Bridges is imitating a box out here, and it's 2 points again. Germany got 25 points on only 12 offensive rebounds, showing how little resilience they faced after actually grabbing the ball. Ops shoots here, and look at the situation under the basket. It's basically impossible for Germany to not have an extra shot here, with Theis and Voigtmann both in better positions than their smaller opponents.
Theis goes up with a putback.
Grant Hill and Steve Kerr both expected huge contribution from Jaren Jackson Jr. in this tournament. But first, the Defensive Player of the Year wasn't able to stay out of foul trouble, and second, his rim protection wasn't as clear as in the NBA, where he takes more of a free-roaming weak side help defender role. Here, he was guarding pick and rolls and post-ups mostly. USA's help side defense were also close to non-existent, despite FIBA allowing guys to stay in the paint for more than 3 seconds. They simply don't have this habit. They allow Schroeder to get inside the paint early, Germany's spacing is impeccable, and Wagner has little to no trouble beating this lazy closeout by Anthony Edwards.
Franz Wagner gets in! A little bit of elevation.
Other guys also had problems expressing themselves in a way they would do in the NBA. Jalen Brunson, who was envisioned as one of the main guys, had a subpar tournament, while Brandon Ingram was only a shadow of himself, averaging 5.7 points in 16 minutes. It seemed like it's hard for these go-to guys in their respective NBA teams to understand smaller roles and be excited about them. And unhappy guys in the locker room never lead to great things. Moving on to the next topic, I know there is no tradition in the NBA to make smart, intelligent fouls before bonus in half-court possessions, but maybe some would have helped resetting the opponent's offense. In FIBA, 95% of the teams do that. They reset mismatch situations with quick take fouls, helping themselves to regroup. Now, the Americans were using switch all with Banchero at the 5. Germany took a page out of Lithuania's book as they looked for mismatches inside versus Austin Reeves. USA here have 0 team fouls and 1 could reset the possession. Yet they allow a kick out outside for a team that's shooting lights out from free.
Franz Wagner for 3, it's good!
You might think, oh, but early fouls like this one may get you in a foul trouble. It's true, it could happen, but it's rare and the benefit it gives is much greater than harm it does. After all, there is a good reason to it if 95% of European teams do it. 95 also happens to be the percentage of how many organizations worldwide are using VPN services, and if I'm honest, you should too. NordVPN is offering an exclusive deal for BasketNews friends, and I'm pretty sure you would be happy to watch NBA games for a cheaper price next season, right? I personally have already bought both league passes with the help of NordVPN. Simply changing my location country in the app allowed me to save more than 100 euros on these two transactions alone. And don't worry, NordVPN does not cost nearly as much, and now you can get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan simply by going to nordvpn.com/basketanalytics. Also, with the app, I just feel safer out there browsing a public Wi-Fi when working outside of home. You simply never know when the bad guys are coming to get you, so please check the link in the description down below for 4 months extra on a 2-year plan. And don't worry, it's risk-free with NordVPN as they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now it's time to talk about the man of the semifinal, Andy Obst, and the difference between NBA and FIBA his movement of the ball demonstrated. If you haven't watched the World Cup, this guy is like your favorite podcaster JJ Redick, amazing shooter off the catch. Now think about how many guys like JJ we had 10 or 15 years ago and how many there are now. The league and USA basketball culture in general has gone in opposite direction. It's all about athletic guards that can play ISO or pick and roll with the ball in their hands. This are making NBA players forget how to guard off-ball action where international players are so good because they often lack explosiveness or aren't that good in dribble combo moves. Here it's a weird action for Obst, and this curl after the pin down is something the Americans never understood how to guard throughout 40 minutes. I'm not lying, it got terrible after the break and it was probably the #1 reason why USA lost the semifinal. It's a pick and pop on the left that turns into a zoom action for Obst. We knew the USA would be bad in screen navigation before the World Cup as friendlies exposed this weakness, but to be this bad? Next possession in, Germany say why change what works. First mistake by Halliburton is not putting any contact before Andreas starts moving. This is a recipe for disaster anywhere, FIBA or NBA. Obst runs out without a problem, and for a shooter of his caliber that's too easy. I'm thinking USA have to adjust something, right? Maybe a top block or something to make Obst change the path? Nope, not at all. He gets a straight line sprint and look at how much space he has for this shot. That's 3 straight possessions USA got punished by the same off-ball play.
Oops. Again! How good is that man?
The last thing, but definitely not the least important one. Smaller USA guards got targeted heavily in post after switches. We know the majority of NBA teams have gone to switch all in the last 10 years, but in FIBA this didn't work as well because of a different way teams were attacking against it. While in the NBA all you see is perimeter ISO play, here in the World Cup it was Austin Reeves being forced to defend in the post. Now post-ups, just like boxing out, is a lost art in the greatest league in the world, and that gave Americans a bunch of problems. Kerr and Grant Hill imagined switching would be one of the main Team USA strengths, but it got completely hammered in the post and with weaker defenders on the perimeter. It also came to bite them on the defensive glass as well. USA allowed Montenegro to get 23 offensive rebounds, Lithuania grabbed 18. And here versus Germany once again, you see absolutely no one boxing out for the Americans, while Bonga and Thiemann both cut from the 3-point line inside. How can you expect to win the World Cup with habits like these? Dillon Brooks and Canada also proved to USA that offensive talent isn't everything, as they stole bronze from them. Apart from this match being the most casual game for a medal ever seen, simply because the American sports culture doesn't value any other plays than the first one, and there's no problem with that. It also showed that Canada's team structure was way more important than USA talent. Canada had a clear leader in Shea, and everybody else understood their roles perfectly. SGA was surrounded with defensive stars like Brooks and Lou Dort, who scored versus USA when the opponent asked them to, not when they thought it's their time to do something now. Other guys like RJ Barrett, Olynyk, and Dwight Powell chipped in by doing what they do best in a limited role, once again proving that NBA and FIBA basketball are two completely different things.
Shea takes the contact. In one, coming, Canada back in front.
I just hope that after watching this video, it's clear to everyone that the two leagues are drifting apart in terms of play style. This and the fundamentals of international players fits the FIBA ball way more. That's why the Nuggets can't call themselves world champions and the world isn't scared of Team USA anymore, even if they bring their A-team. I agree that the veteran superstars are still the heavy favorites to win gold next year, but what happens after that? FIBA World Cup was a great example of how the new generation only knows how to play NBA basketball, and that could mean the dominant days of USA basketball are nearing the end. Could Americans playing overseas be an option for tournaments like the World Cup? Let me know what you think about all this discussion in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.